Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. I'm George. We're all George. So, what happened today? Why did Bitcoin dip? Why did Bitcoin not go up any higher? Well, I think there's one reason. So, I'm going to talk about what that one reason could be. And is it concerning? Also, I'm going to talk about Chainlink. Yes, Chainlink. So, let's do it. Welcome, guys. Starting out with Bitcoin's chart. Yeah, we had a little dip. Little sudden dip. We were looking pretty good above 43,600. Looked like we were going past the 44,000, and we came back down a little bit. You know, when you zoom in like this on a 5-minute chart, yeah, it looks like pretty drastic, like a huge drop, right? 15 minutes, okay, maybe not as much. 1 hour, not as much. 4 hours, yeah, not as much. So, I mean, we had a little dip today. Is there really a reason for it? Well, I came up with one. Okay, well, there's two. If you're a technical person, you could say, well, maybe Bitcoin was just a little bit overbought and needed to come back down, right? That's a good reason. There's another reason. I'll get to that in a little bit. But right now, let me start out with this, because this relates. The White House is saying, it's touting that consumer confidence is the highest in more than 2 years. 2 years. Now, this is important. Remember, I've said this year, okay, we're going to get some rate cuts. Why is that? Well, because this is election year, right? So during election years, markets are always soaring. They're always hot, because basically you want the people to be feeling good, right? And then one side or both sides could take credit for why it's so good, right? There's a lot of reasons. I don't want to get into it. But basically, every election year, markets are soaring. So how do you make markets soar? You cut rates. You make the money start flowing, right? You let people start borrowing, and then the money's flowing, and the money printer's printing, and everything looks good, right? So, of course, the U.S. wants to kind of like fudge the numbers to make it look as good as possible, right? So, White House saying consumer confidence is the highest in 2 years. You got Cyril, Ken Griffin. No one likes Cyril. No one likes Ken Griffin. But he's like, the economy looks pretty damn good right now. It looks pretty good. So, you know, things are looking good, right? And this relates to the reason that I alluded to, and that is rate cuts. When will we get Fed rate cuts? Okay, when is it going to start? Well, tomorrow we may get a clue. Tomorrow is the conclusion of the FOMC meeting, and Powell's going to give his usual press conference. And no, I'm not covering it. I'm so sick of covering it. So I'm not going to be covering it. But it usually, you know, starts around 1:30 Central Standard Time, and then it ends at 2:30, right? And everyone they already know he's not going to raise or cut tomorrow. But they're looking for this one thing, right? This like one speech, one part of the speech that basically indicates whether or not cutting is close or we have to wait like a long time, basically, right? So that's what everyone's waiting for. There is a chance, it's been speculated that there is a chance that he may be cutting as soon as Wednesday. No, no, I'm not drunk. As soon as March. Okay. And that would be a surprise. If he hints that the next FOMC meeting, like in March time, there may be a possibility of cut, that would be explosive. I don't think so. I mean, March is just too soon, but there's rumors that it may be March. So everyone's waiting for this speech tomorrow, right? And I think this may be the cause. This may be one of the causes why Bitcoin dipped a little bit today, because people are worried and unsure about what he may say tomorrow. I don't know. You know, that's the only thing I come up with. But, you know, overall, guys, just want to remind you guys, when in doubt, zoom out, because we really didn't go down all that much. And there's a lot of crypto that's still doing very well right now. Still a great time to be DCAing. This is not time to be fearful. I've been saying that. Now, as for GBDC, it barely outperformed BlackRock today with its Bitcoin ETFs, right? You could see only 20 million more. So overall, BlackRock is basically eating up all the volume, right? And then also Fidelity. And let's not forget too, I mean, even though we always concentrate on Grayscale, BlackRock, and Fidelity, but look at ARK. ARK today had a huge day, 83 million in volume. That's no joke. Even Bitwise and Invesco, the 40 million, 20 million. Even Wisdom Tree got 18 million today out of the blue, right? So this is volume, by the way. This is not addition of assets, but tomorrow we'll see. But regardless, the volume is exploding still. 1.2 billion overall volume. And we'll see tomorrow whether there's a net inflow or outflow. But today, Grayscale sold about 221 million. A little bit more than yesterday's 192 million, which is a little disappointing. It would have been awesome if today was like minus 150, something lower, because we had like basically 5 consecutive days where outflow went down. Today we went up a little bit, but we'll see tomorrow whether or not the others compensated for this, which I think they did for sure, right? So Grayscale selling is still ongoing, but it's slowing down. And eventually, maybe by the end of this week or maybe by the end of next week, we'll be getting to a point where it's close to zero or little, so that's insignificant. And then that's when we could see a really good supply shock and the price go up. But also tomorrow we might get it too because of the FOMC meeting. And it could also be a nothing burger. Keep in mind, it could be a nothing burger and then the market comes up anyways. I think a lot of people just take profits or sell off a little bit beforehand just to be sure in case there's something that happens, they could buy the dip. We see it very often, so not a surprise, right? But for many, like Robert Kiyosaki and others, they don't really care, okay? They're going to load up on Bitcoin. All the billionaires and everyone that's been in it and institution, they don't really care about the FOMC meeting. They will continue to load up because they know the truth. And I know the truth. It's one of the reasons why I'm so bullish on Bitcoin is because of inflation. And if you understand money and you understand how it operates, you'll know that inflation is forever. It's never ending. It's a silent tax that will eat away at your savings, your buying power, your wealth. That's why you need assets. You need assets to outperform inflation. Otherwise, you're doomed. Robert Kiyosaki knows this. Why I own Bitcoin? Bitcoin is protection against the theft of our wealth via our money. Yes, that's true. And so many others also know this, right? So that's why I'm so bullish. That's why people always ask me, why are you so bullish? Why do you never turn bearish? Why are you not bearish? Right? Because if you understand how money is, there's no way you could be bearish on Bitcoin because you'll be more bearish on dollars. That's reality. But, as for our current trajectory right now, I mean, there's really, like when you zoom out, you don't even notice it. Today wasn't even registering if you zoom out, especially at something like this. We're kind of in that phase, right? If you look at it, we're right before the halving event. We're right in that phase before Bitcoin breaks out to its previous high and then goes higher. It happened twice before. In 2017, right? It happened in 2021. And it's about to happen now in 2024. We're right there. We're right there, guys. I mean, like, there's no better way to put it. This is probably the best time to invest was when at 16,000, right? When we were at 16,000 for this cycle. The next best time is today or yesterday. It doesn't matter. The bottom line is we are starting the new cycle, the new parabolic cycle, the new parabolic bull run, I should say. And this is definitely an exciting time. So these dips like today really mean nothing, okay? Nothing. And according to this trader, you know what? We're heading to 75,000. Yeah, we're heading to 75,000. And that could be, a little bit after the halving event or right around the halving event after we break out of this pattern. And then we'll be at 75,000. And then, you know what? By the end of the year, we could certainly be at six figures, $100,000. I called this already. I said I would not be surprised if we're at 70,000 by mid-year and 100,000 by the end of the year. It just would not surprise me. In fact, if we didn't hit it, it would surprise me because I believe in it that much. I think this year is going to be that bullish. It's going to be super, 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 super bullish. And in case, you want to compare how we're moving versus previous cycles, again, right before the halving event, the orange one is the only one that didn't, follow because it was very early. But if you look at the last two cycles, the blue line and the red line, and look at the black line, which is where we are now, we're exactly at the point before both cycles started moving up in a big way, parabolic way. We're like right there. It can't be any clearer. That's where we are right now, right before the halving event, which is coming in less than 3 months. It's really like 2.5 months. Can't make it any more clear than that. We're like right there at the cusp of a parabolic run. So if you get scared out, you're gonna be mighty disappointed in 6 months or 12 months. That's the bottom line. All right. Outside of Bitcoin, what else is there? Let's talk about Chainlink. A lot of people love Chainlink. I see it in the live chat. A lot of people are Link Marines, right? Why is Chainlink doing well? And why do so many people believe in it? Well, right now, one of the narratives is real-world assets on chain. Tokenizing real-world assets, which includes real estate, collectibles, but also money too, like treasuries and bonds, and anything else that you could think of can be tokenized, right? A lot of banks also are using blockchain technology and tokens to tokenize assets, okay? You could see it's growing by leaps and bounds. And there's so many things. You could do it with equities too. I mentioned about real estate, treasuries, credit, carbon offsets. You could really tokenize anything, okay? And here's a chart of some of the major ones. Here's a Franklin Templeton one that, worth 333 million. Here's a one from Mountain Protocol. Here's one short-term U.S. government bond, 110, short-term treasury bill. There's a lot, okay? There's just a lot out there. But what is the one project that is really suitable for real-world assets and can really benefit from the boom of real-world assets? Well, that's Chainlink. A lot of people are looking at Chainlink because they feel like it's the best way to transfer tokenized assets because of their CCIP technology, which is just a giant bridge, okay? Because Chainlink is an oracle and already connects to dozens and dozens and dozens of chains, you could move real-world assets from one chain to another very easily. It could be from a bank. It could be from a friend. It could be from a project. It could be from a country. It doesn't matter. So CCIP basically allows enormous interoperability throughout the whole sector, throughout the whole ecosystem of chains, right? And it's really good. dApps can access them because of the interoperability, right? And banks and anyone else that has tokenized anything can access it too. So Chainlink is playing a big role in this, an absolutely big role in tokenizing real-world assets, right? But outside of real-world assets, they're just doing everything else. They are the biggest oracle in this space, even though there's like Pyth and others, API3 and others, band protocol that are in this space. But the gap between them is vast. Chainlink is operating much more chains and dApps than anyone else. It's not even close. Even Swift, this messaging system for banks, a very archaic old system that's been around for, I don't know, 60, 70 years. They're trying to revolutionize themselves by using Chainlink. Rather than use their own archaic system, why not utilize CCIP for that, right? Even they're using it. But outside of these things, you know, you got a lot of whales, a lot of people that love them, that continue to accumulate. 855 million worth in the last 30 days. That's an enormous amount. That's a really good, enormous amount in the last 30 days. Again, when it comes to price, it's just a matter of supply and demand, right? And when demand is this high, especially when the whales, look at this exchange net flow. Look at that big red candle on the bottom there, right? That's a huge amount of net flow outwards, okay? When you got the whales buying, you know, that's why it's holding very well, and it moves suddenly sometimes in an upward direction. That's because you just have a lot of people buying it, right? That's really what it comes down to. So Chainlink is fantastic. It's really overlooked. There's so many that do overlook Chainlink because sometimes they become quite boring. The price action doesn't move, but they are so important, and they're getting bigger every day, and they play a vital role basically with all DeFi projects, with all chains, and with real-world asset tokenization. So all good stuff. All right, outside of that's pretty much it. Let's do some Q&A. All right, let me see here. Aaron agrees with me exactly. Buy votes, yes. During election years, markets always soar, and it's going to be no different this year. It's going to be huge. It's going to be hot, and it's going to be good because when markets soar, when the money's flowing, it's going to flow in crypto. There's no doubt about it. Brother Dan is a new member. Welcome. King Andrew says Solana and Chainlink ETF after ETH. I don't know about Chainlink or Solana. I think XRP ETF may come afterwards, but I don't know how many people are demanding that. Oh, by the way, this is something completely irrelevant, but I saw this, one of the top headline news on CNBC. A judge in Delaware vetoed, an approved compensation package for Elon Musk by Tesla for $56 billion. Now, it sounds outrageous, but it's because Elon made a deal with Tesla to basically take no pay, and there's certain criteria he would have to meet, right? Like growth and profits and stuff like that. And basically the company, the board, everyone agreed. They all agreed. So he met all those goals and guidelines and metrics and so forth, right? So they agreed to give him this much. But then people said, no, that's not fair. So they sued, and then the judge actually sided with the whoever sued and said that Elon doesn't deserve the $56 billion. I don't even know how that's possible. The company that's rewarding it already approved it, and this goes all the way back to 2018. So it's been 6 years, basically. That's just nuts. That's really nutty. That's like your boss coming to you and saying, you know what, I'm going to give you this raise because you deserve it. And you take it. And then later on, somehow the company gets sued for giving you that raise. And you got to give that raise back, even though your boss gave it to you. You know, it's like, I don't know how that works. I don't. All right. Traders are playing on fire. Just DC and hold on and buy the dips. I gotta say, I got mixed results recently. I had some good winners recently. Today I took some losses, but overall I think I'm about even. But yeah, like days like today, it sucks to be a trader. You just go get liquidated, right? But that's why recently I've been a little bit smarter, although I should be better at this now, at taking profits a lot faster, right? Like just closing them a lot faster than before. But still, it's very dangerous. I agree with you. I don't know. John Sock says, I don't know what to buy or I haven't bought enough. I mean, when in doubt, you can always buy Bitcoin. You can always buy Solana. Those are two that, are staples at this point. You can even buy Chainlink. I just covered Chainlink today. Chainlink is a good one. Let me see. I missed out on a lot here. I'm still scrolling down now. Guys, if you want my attention, don't do @cryptos or us. That annoys me more than anything. And the more I see it, the more I ignore. But I will answer the last few. Multiverse CEOs dropping big news today. Countdown ends today. Good. Great. You tell me what he announced. Do you know the Solana AI project Nosana? Do you think it has potential after 150x? People have asked me about it. I don't know if it's that great. It looks like it's not an AI project. It looks like it's more of a decentralized cloud computing that can also handle AI. But I don't know enough about it, to be honest. But people have asked me about it before. Do you think the upcoming unlocks for C, Sui, and Celestia will slow them down? Not if we're in a bull run. In a bull run, those unlocks gets eaten and no one cares. In a bear market, yes, it does affect it. But Optimism recently had a big unlock. Arbitrum, I think, had a big unlock, and they're still doing well. The market's eating it. And a lot of times what the team does is they know it's unpopular for a big unlock to happen, so they'll swear that they relock it and restake it for another few years or something like that. So not necessarily. It really depends on how hot the market is. Speaking of cock, I got introduced to the founders of cock. They're actually really legit guys. I found out stuff about cock that I never knew about before. And good things too. It sounds like, it sounds like they're a legit project for all the right reasons. I didn't know this, but Cocky knew, the founders, what they did was when they minted the 69.420 trillion tokens, they locked it in and burned basically their access to it. So it was a fair launch. They bought along with everyone else. They didn't keep anything for themselves. That's terrific to hear. You hardly ever hear that with a meme token, right? So they burn away their key. They can't access it at all. So they just bought in along with everyone else. So that's pretty big. And they're big developer guys. I'm set to talk to them later this week. But just want to share that. Pretty interesting. I didn't know that. Ruben, are you bullish on Jupiter? Yes, but we'll see how high. We'll see how high they open up once they airdrop. But if you're going to be trading on Solana, there's zero reason why you shouldn't be using Jupiter, unless it's not available on Jupiter, but you should be, because then you're setting yourself up to get round 2 of the airdrop. Brother Dan, small cap next. Za or something. It's a layer 1, and it's a stream to on Twitch, soon YouTube, integrated games. Okay. You know what that sounds like? That sounds like Veracity. And sounds like several other ones. Neoza. I think that's how you say it. Proof of work, play to earn. Actually, proof of work, which is very rare these days. GTA 5. Fortnite. Okay. So it's play to earn on current games. Okay. I don't quite understand it, but thanks for sharing. Mexico City has a lot of Asians. Lots of Asian food there too. Jared, thanks for sharing. Yeah, I was asking about Mexico City. How many of you guys have been there? Just wondering how it is. If it's a safe place to go to. I mean, like any big city, I'm assuming there's good parts and bad parts, right? So I'm assuming there are some very beautiful places in Mexico City. I do hate the Packers. I cannot stand the Packers. I don't think anyone can stand Packers. Possible Kulo and Cock collab would be fun. I may make that happen. I may make that happen. We'll see. How do you participate in Juniper airdrop? You just have to use them. The first one, the snapshot's already over. You're not going to get a first round airdrop. But there's 3 more. So if you're using it now, you will get airdropped in the future. See, you get mixed results here. Crypto Ricardo says Mexico is so underrated and amazing. And then Interior Guy says Mexico is scary, period, especially now. So it's like... and then someone else says the best Asian food is in Mexico. So I don't know who to listen to here. Wow. Ricardo says, I don't understand the bad rep. We planned 2 weeks there, but ended up spending 7 weeks. How do you take a 7-week vacation, man? That's a long, long time. That's more. That's like 2 months. That's crazy. Just out of the blue. Coinbase will have a Super Bowl commercial. I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. I've been to Cancun before. I mean, that's a touristy area. So I'm sure, like, touristy areas, I'm sure will be very safe because if they're not, it destroys the economy. So I'm pretty sure they're going to be okay. But, like, a big city like Mexico City, I don't know. Mexico City is a lot of fun, but outside city is a little dangerous. Good to know. Good to know. Kimball and Cock on AVAX are pumping. Remember, AVAX is going to pump money into them. Are they really pumping right now? No, they are not pumping. You're lying. Mexico City is good. Probably the safest city in North America. Are you serious? You're saying it's safer than New York or LA or Chicago or Miami? Would you mind looking at Angel Block? Since you asked nicely. 40%. Token is live. Okay. Non-custodial, protocol-based fundraising for crypto. Fundraising for crypto never does well. Fundraising itself never does well. Allows for non-custodial on-chain fundraising, transparent investing, automated token distribution, invest in startups. Yeah, I've seen many projects like this. Like a lot of launch pads are doing this, where it's like supposedly safe for investors and more fair for investors and all this stuff. Unless there's some like major crazy backers that's going to make this really crazy. It's going to have a really hard time because there are so many projects that's in this space. Yeah, there's so many launch pads coming out and they're all kind of like doing the same thing. Sure, are you doing a pay-per-view for this fight? You're going to live stream it? I'm going to live stream it. I know Ben has been practicing for sure, boxing. I don't know if he's been doing anything else, any other MMA stuff. But yeah, I will live stream it from my channel. I will. Karate is go also live stream it, so we'll go do a live stream. We're gonna kick out a round of training videos for all the fighters soon on Cryptos R Us Plus. That's gonna be exciting. And the event is coming up in a few weeks, like 3 weeks. So we'll see. I know these guys have been training hard, and I gotta applaud them. A bunch of 40-year-olds getting in the pit, fighting each other. They're not fighters. I can't imagine, but they are training very hard. Most of them, I think, are training very hard. I know they are, but I think it's going to be huge, and we'll see. If it is really successful, then of course we'll do IFC Season 2 and then keep going with it, right? Coach Hella said, I was in Mexico City last year. It was amazing. Went to see a band play. Ended at 3 o'clock. I walked 3 miles to my hotel. No one said anything to me. Everyone is friendly. Just stay in the city. It's good to know. Good to know. I've heard that before. Can you check out Ando? Yeah, don't. Okay, I'm gonna ban this project. Don't show me something that's catering for the banks or to the banks. Just not my thing. Look at Medicaid and its foundations. What foundations? Is converting to USDT taxable exchange? Yes. Yes, it is. What's your price prediction for XRP this bull market? I don't know. I don't even know if it could get back to its previous high, to be honest. It may be suppressed for even the next 2 years. Hopefully it's not, but I don't even know if it could get to $4 where it was before, or 380 wherever it was. Hopefully it can. Hopefully it could at least do a 10x, get to $5 at least, right? But I'm not so certain. I'm not so certain. Is Injective still goodbye? Yes, I still think so. How bullish are you on stacks, considering it went up a lot in 2023? Very bullish. There's a reason why it went up so much in 2023. Because of growing enthusiasm over BRC20, right? Not just growing, it's not just enthusiasm. I should say the development base have gone up quite a lot. A lot of people are developing for BRC20, so that's why stacks is so popular. Robert, I think if I'm in Mexico City, I would only take Ubers. Jose, too bad you're not going in February. Then you could show up to the IFC. Which has the better potential to get back to its all-time high, Uniswap or Sushi? Uniswap, of course. Sushi has so many, like, it's such a, like, it had, how do you say in a nice way? It had interesting history. Let's just say it that way. You recommended Alex. Any updated thoughts? I think Alex is still good. It's one of those projects within the Bitcoin ecosystem that's still working on. They have a whole bunch of stuff happening, like a DEX, a launchpad, a bridge, and all these things, right? All these BRC20 based projects are like very early, very early. And we'll see how it grows, I guess, until the end of this cycle, because we've never really seen it before. This is the first time where there's so much hype around development on Bitcoin. We never really seen it before. Do a crypto Jeopardy show. I've been racking my brain, and I'm gonna do this soon. I want to do new shows where it's like game show reality type. I'm gonna start out small, and then work my way up to bigger things, right? So I am really thinking about that. Jeopardy is probably gonna be too difficult, but there's so many other variations of game show stuff I could do. I think I'm gonna start that soon. So make sure you follow me on X too, because most likely I'm gonna post like a form on X. I might post it on YouTube too, but yeah, I'll probably do both. But anyways, like, you guys will be able to sign up if you want to participate and have some fun and win some crypto. You know, why not? Will DFA get back to its all-time high? I hope so, but man, they're still down like 99%. I don't know if they can. I hope so. They're gaining momentum again. The base is growing. Their game is a lot better. So let's just say I hope so. Are you really outdoorsy? Don't know if you've been to Utah, but from north to south is endless exploration. Deep woods, north, redneck in the south. I gotta say, I'm not really outdoorsy. And I don't look forward to, like, you know, pooping in the woods. That's not my thing. Not my thing. I'd rather go take a nice vacation and sit in a nice hotel with AC or to spend some time on a beach with nice drinks, so forth. Yeah. Backpacking, hiking, climbing Mount Everest, those are things I never want to do. Like I don't. If I go to the forest, if I want to go, backpacking or whatever and go hike, or spend time in the forest, I would like to have really nice cabins there, right? So I could actually chill in the cabin. Kevin, no, I'm not. I'm not gonna be streaming Powell's big speech. I've done too many of those, and I'm so sick of the questions, the Q&As. Had enough. All right, guys. So to conclude, tomorrow's a big day. Tomorrow's a big day. We'll see. Tomorrow morning, obviously, we won't know yet. This will come in the afternoon. But I think this may be the reason why Bitcoin dipped a little bit, just slightly, or maybe it's just a technical thing. But tomorrow, I think, could be a big thing. Big news could come out of here, or a big interpretation of what Powell says could be coming out tomorrow. So strap on, guys. Get ready and continue to hold on. And DCA. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right. Have a good one. Take care.